AI search visibility in the SEO community, everybody is talking about how do you get more visibility in the LLMs. This could be ChatGPT, it could be Claude, it could be Perplexity, it could be Gemini AI overviews. I've managed to get Dawood Khan, I've had him previously on the podcast with regards to Reddit marketing and Reddit SEO. Now, anyone that's not doing Reddit needs to jump on it now, quickly, because it's one of the most cited sources for the LLMs. However, Dawood Khan is always 2 steps ahead of the game. He's an innovator in the industry, and he understands the importance of being omni-channel and omnipresent and doing holistic marketing. So, Dawood, I don't want to sing your praises anymore. I want to jump straight into it, and I want to jump straight in and say, can you explain to a few people what is coming soon with regards to your SaaS products, with regards to not just Reddit SEO and Reddit marketing, because a lot of people know you for that SaaS tool, but how for AI search visibility now, how you're going to take your SaaS onto a new level?
Yeah, thank you for having me on the podcast. So right now, Crowd Reply is mainly focused on Reddit marketing, and you can basically just use our platform to generate traffic, leads from Reddit. You can do brand reputation. You can. The other thing we have is you can rank on these LLMs like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude. And basically, the thing is that Reddit is one of the most cited platforms. So let's say we search for anything on ChatGPT. What it does is it has its own knowledge base, right? But then it also uses the internet sources. So it might pull up some information from Wikipedia. It might pull up, some information from YouTube video, from a Reddit thread. Based on all these different sources, it will then provide an answer for whatever you typed in, and that's basically what you can also use this for crowd reply. But right now it's just very Reddit centric. So we'll be very soon, in the next couple of months, we'll be adding the LLM visibility and tracking component inside a platform. So then it would just be super easy to rank on these LLMs.
So with regards to AI search visibility then, right, anyone who wants to know more about Reddit, check out the link in the description. There's a whole episode for over 30 minutes with me and Dawood talking about Reddit SEO and Reddit marketing. But away from Reddit and looking at the AI search visibility, what other platforms are you going to try to integrate into Crowd Reply on top of Reddit that might be able to get cited by the LLMs?
So the most demand that we have had besides Reddit is Quora. Quora is the second most cited platform by these LLMs. Then we have Facebook. Facebook is actually climbing up a lot higher, in these past couple of months, and we're seeing it go even more in the coming time. And then we're seeing YouTube, but for now we'll just focus on Reddit, Quora, Facebook. Down the line, maybe we'll add Wikipedia mentions, we can have YouTube mentions, we can just cover as many social platforms as we can. And because the thing is, there's a lot that goes into LLM ranking, but a very key factor and component is just getting cited on as many sources as you can that are being taken up by these LLMs. Because the more everyone's talking about you, the better reference it gives to these platforms on, let's say this brand is getting talked about a lot across all these different channels. So let's just rank this up for, a specific keyword or prompt.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anyone who is doing any sort of searches, majority of searches nowadays, it starts to pop up with forums and discussions. It always seems to be, it's the three that you've mentioned, Facebook, Quora, and Reddit, that seems to get cited. Have you got any sort of, I think you were showing a bit of a presentation, or you wanted to share your screen to show something with regards to ranking in the LLMs, getting cited in the LLMs. I don't know if you want to kind of pull the screen up, just to explain it a little bit more. Maybe we could show one or two examples like roofers in Manchester or roofers in Liverpool, and it'll show the forums and discussions, and you'll probably see that it's, especially I think roofers in, I think it was roof repair in Manchester or roofers in Manchester, and it'll show Reddit. I think Quora might not have been there, but Quora sometimes in, and I think it shows like a Facebook thread and stuff like that. And obviously, if your tools now are able to get mentions in all those places, branded mentions is unbelievable. It's a big part now of SEO, is having that brand out there. So I don't know if you can expand on that a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. So can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just jump right into it. I'll explain on from the basics on how it works. So let's say we do a simple search on what's a good roofing company in Manchester. So we just click submit. Now what happens is that for those who don't know, what ChatGPT is basically doing is you see these websites that are visible here. What it does is it checks for these websites. These are the sources or citations that we call them. And then what it does, it sees which of these companies are getting mentioned on across these different websites. So let's say you have all these websites you see, they're all citations, right? All these different, you have this brand, these brands. So what it does is it then sees, okay, brand number one, which is at the top, Manchester Roofs Limited. So let's say this one is mentioned across all these. Let's say these are all 20. Let's say it's mentioned in at least 10 of these websites, right? So then it just presents for ChatGPT that this one is highly recommended across these different websites, and then it just mentions it at the top, and then you have they're actually getting mentioned twice, the same brand. It's actually super interesting. But then on the second position, you have this roofing company, right? Now, again, the thing is simple. Out of, let's say, these 20, all these different citations, it sees that it is getting mentioned in 7 places, right? It's in the second. So then what it does, it will put you up in the second spot or third spot in this situation. So this is in general how it works. The more citations you cover, the more your brand is mentioned on all these different sources, the better your ranking is going to be on these LLMs. Now the thing is, in here, these citations can have Reddit, Quora, Facebook, and these other platforms. For this specific one, we don't see that much for ChatGPT. So this is another thing that we've seen. Reddit maybe can be getting cited a lot more in Perplexity than, let's say, ChatGPT. But the idea is the same, that for Google overviews, if we search this up, we see AI overview coming up. So this is also AI generated content. And then based on this, you see now they have a different ranking of the companies, right? It's completely different almost from what ChatGPT has given us, right? So in this case, again, what Google is now doing is it has its own set of sources. So ChatGPT is maybe for whatever reason citing from these sources, but then Google is citing their answer from these different ones, right? So this is just how it's getting its information. So it doesn't have its own brain, right? It's just citing from these different websites that are talking about these different companies. So the way it works is the more you engage on these sources, the more you engage on social platforms like Facebook, Reddit, it just in general increases your visibility on these platforms.
Yes, one there. You've got the discussions and forums, and it's got Facebook and it's got Reddit. So that's on page 1. So that could be then being pulled through when they go and do, especially when they start doing like query fan out terms. So you go and do a search like, who is the best roofing company in Manchester with the cheapest prices and fast call outs or something like that. And what it ends up doing is it ends up doing lots of query fan out terms, which then might return Reddit on several occasions or Facebook on Reddit on several occasions. And then what it then starts to do is then it's citing those sources. like you said, almost like the upvotes. The more upvotes you have, the better your comment would show in Reddit. The more citations that you show, the higher then that would show up in the rankings within the LLMs, whether that is Claude, Perplexity, ChatGPT, or Gemini.
Exactly, exactly. It's almost the same thing because in general, it obviously has a lot of other facets to it, but the main one is just covering these sources. And I say that it's if you look at it, it's just good old adding backlink on these
Yeah.
websites. It's I mean, if you look at it, so that's the exact same premise. You just have to maybe for these different websites. I would just say reach out to them and maybe do a link exchange or even not a link exchange, just getting your brand mentioned on maybe it's an article or something. Just reach out and maybe out of 20 or 30 sources, maybe five of them or six of them are happy to cite you on their website, and you can even just pay them up because the benefits of that in the long run are going to be massive.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, you then end up getting cited in the LLMs, which is huge. I think what a lot of people aren't realizing, and this has been the case for a few years now, there's so many people out there still buying backlinks. Now, I'm not saying that backlinks are obsolete and page rank and link juice is obsolete because it's still important. But what they're not realizing is when you get the difference between a good link building agency and a great link building agency, is a great link building agency will understand semantic SEO and will understand that actually it's the corroboration or the consensus building on these third party sources that say why you are the best and why you are good, and done in semantic triples and done in a format that the knowledge graph can understand that information and pass that information for you then to be cited in the LLMs, in all different LLMs. Both Bing and also Google search are doing exactly the same thing when they're trying to pass information. And if you can present those guest posts or get yourself, like you said, reach out to some of these existing listicles and get your brand added into that existing listicle, what some people call a link insertion or a niche edit,
Yeah.
if you can go and get those brands being added in, they're already being cited. So they're some of the best links that you can get. But for me, I'm not really too bothered about whether it's a no follow or a do follow. I'm more bothered about the semantic triple explaining who I am, what I do, and why I'm the best. And then that being cited then becomes part of being what's cited, especially in, let's say, Gemini AI overview. And then what happens? Normally you get cited with the dotted line underneath your brand. You click onto it, it goes through to your branded SERP, and it becomes a brand search and a brand click. Now, anyone that's been doing SEO in the last 2 or 3 years needs to understand that branded search and clicks is probably, I would say, the number one ranking factor. There's obviously differentiators. If you don't have technical SEO, your site can't load properly, if you've not got good quality content or you've not got some sort of authority. But branded search and clicks is huge. And as you build those branded search and clicks up, it makes a huge difference for rankings. By being cited in the LLMs to then get the branded searches and then get those clicks is massive. And that's why I'm excited to obviously have you on with regards to AI search visibility.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, whatever it's for me, I would say it's just traditional SEO, but the way it works, the way the workflows are, it's just a bit different and how you approach on things. But in general, it's just basics of what we were previously doing. And based on you said about brand building, I think that is one of the biggest things right now that is overlooked by these companies and brand, because even with Google we see that one of the main ranking factors now is how good your brand visibility is. Just branded searches, like are they going up, are they going down? That's where you it can really help with Google rankings, and that's also super beneficial with ChatGPT, where it's just looking for your brand name across the internet, and it just looks for your brand name, and then it sees how, like you said, these websites are talking about you. So that is the sentiment is it positive? Is it negative? What sort of keywords are you getting associated with, right? So let's say if it's a roofing business that is providing very good value work for a very cheap price. Let's just take that, right? So if on all these different websites they're mentioning your brand name, and then they're also mentioning that the XYZ company is super cheap, or it has great customer support. If those are some of the keywords that are being associated with you, that's where it will also provide the same the same content on any prompt it provides. So with these, we see, like, for example, known for competitive rates and decent service. So this is basically just pulled up from across these different websites what they're talking about this company. So an example I can show you is so this is a VPN app that we're we had it 3 months ago, and what we did was we just used Reddit, and right now you can see it's just branded search. So we don't have any links in the comments. We just have our brand name. So let's say it's, hey, I'm using Bamboo VPN and the speeds are really good, and here's why, here's my experience. So we just have these branded mentions, no links whatsoever. What happens is that people, they land on those threads, they see our comment, they see our brand name, and then from there, they search our brand name on Google, and from Google they install the app. So that's the user journey, and we've seen the conversions from Reddit this way, where they see your brand name, they make the effort of going to Google, searching your brand name, and then they're using your whatever platform or tool you have. The conversion rates from that are super high, and this is just a live example where you can see it's all just branded search. And by the way, this VPN app it's completely new. If you open this up on Google, it just has Android and Apple App Store links, nothing else. But you can see the traffic it's generating from Reddit and these other platforms. So that's why it's very important to have people searching for your brand name to help with rankings in general on ChatGPT, on Google. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's where a lot of people at present, they're all worried about zero clicks or clicks being down for specific keywords. But what they're not realizing is when they get that LLM and AI search visibility, it actually should be then increasing their brand visibility as long as AI is becoming part of your digital sales force. I use that quite a lot. I want AI to not just mention me, I want them to recommend me. I want them to recommend my brand. And then I get again the branded search and I get the branded click. And I know that if I'm increasing my branded search and clicks, generally speaking, it's from forums, it's from discussions, and it's from LLM visibility. And the more I can be doing that, the better, obviously, long-term rankings can be. I think that's the difference between a lot of people that used to have affiliate sites that got hit with a helpful content update and they didn't get it. Building that brand of the affiliate site became very important. So, Dawood, it's been an absolute pleasure. Anyone who knows, obviously, about yourself, so anyone can go and Google Dawood Khan. Obviously, you own the brands of CrowdScale.ai and CrowdReply.io. But they're mainly Reddit SEO and Reddit marketing kind of tools at present. You said it's going to be a few months before it gets kind of updated and upgraded into being an AI search visibility. How can someone know when this is being updated? Can they reach out to yourself? Like, what's the best way of them following you and following your tracks to change it just from a Reddit SEO marketing tool to being an AI search visibility tool?
Yeah. I mean, it would take us at least a few months, but we're adding more platforms. We have Reddit, which is going really well. We'll also be adding Quora. We'll be adding Facebook and maybe other platforms. And then another main component we'll add is the AI search visibility, because right now we have people that are using Reddit, but they're just using Reddit for ranking on these LLMs. So it just kind of makes sense to also have this feature where they can also track, they can see these sort of citations that are, being cited, which platforms they are. So just, all this information under one platform is going to be super helpful. Yeah. But yeah, they can reach out to me on LinkedIn, on Twitter if they have any questions. I'm always happy to answer any strategies they want. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Anyone who's been watching this about AI search visibility, it's very important in 2026 to get your brands mentioned in all the LLMs, including ChatGPT, could be Gemini, Claude, Perplexity. Leave a comment in the comment section. Is there something that we've missed with regards to AI search visibility? We'd love to get back to you. Dawood, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I'll see you again soon.
It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.